So good evening once again. We are in the fourth season of our Hug events. This is the third event of the year, and today we are going to talk about a very hot topic that's we've been hearing something last few months on and off a lot. It's about the WhatsApp integration and what you can do with HubSpot and WhatsApp together. But before we get there, quick movement into what are we going to cover today. So we are going to look at I'll just introduce you the what's Hug and what is the season of Hug that we are a part of this time around. Then we'll talk about WhatsApp, why is it needed, what are the various kinds of WhatsApp accounts that are needed for businesses, and then obviously we'll look at how customers are using it, the integration with HubSpot and WhatsApp. What are the benefits people can see. We'll also go through a few case studies, and then we'll have a exclusive preview as well, which I will leave towards the end. So we'll talk about it later as we get along. Uh, so quick intro. My name is Abhinav. I've been the Hug leader for New Delhi region since 4 years now. Uh, so quick intro on Hug as well. Anybody who's been attending the Hug for the first time, uh, anybody here who's not been in a Hug event before? Hug event is okay. There are okay. Lishpam is one. Okay, sure. So Hug is basically a HubSpot user group. Any technology or anything, as you may see, right, that people have a user group wherever people can find like-minded people. They form a community, and that's how uh, Hug also started HubSpot user groups. HubSpot started recognizing that there are a lot of HubSpot users who are, who can benefit from each other, by talking to each other, by learning from each other, right? So, here we are, and the hugs are, organized across the globe. There are 160 hugs, across the globe. Uh, One has to, apply, be a part of this. Uh, one has to be a part of the HubSpot ecosystem, for some time at least, to be to be a part of it. um, but then also one has to look at various things, as part of the community, what is somebody doing, um, or some other things that one is doing. Let me just share my screen also meanwhile as we talk. uh, okay, cool. Yeah. So I was talking about hugs. They are hosted by either customers or by agency partners like us. Uh, so we provide services to a lot of HubSpot customers, and as a result of it, as a solutions partner, we have a lot of learning going around at the same time, right? So you have to apply to become a Hug leader. I am the Hug leader since last 4 years. We have four, in fact, three, and hopefully these will expand. Earlier these used to be city based, but now obviously now everybody is online. So there are it's nothing limited to a city, and of course there are also interest based hugs now across the globe. Yeah. So this is the season of hugs. Why season of hugs is between this week there are about 20 hug events happening across the globe. uh, right, so and obviously all of them are, or at least most of them are online, so everybody can attend. um, if you want to find out in fact about all the hugs that are happening, let me just share the link also. um, Give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, there is your season of hugs. So you can find out all the events that are happening around the world this week. Yeah. So goals for our hug, the New Delhi hug, what obviously we used to do in-person events before, obviously the pandemic hit. Since then we've been online last 2.5 years. Eventually we want to come back to offline events. Obviously, HubSpot has guidelines around that, so you have to adhere to that. So when HubSpot says, yeah, it's a go ahead, you can do offline events. Yeah, we'll be back offline as well. And then the idea is that we will try to do an online plus offline, so that obviously this learning is not limited to a room, but can go anywhere globally, right? That's the whole idea, right? So we want to learn from each other. uh, how are others doing what they're doing in HubSpot, right? So we've had customers from various aspects, industries. They will be using differently, and then obviously because of the cross learning, a lot of us learn a lot of things when we go back after a hike event, right? So obviously we earlier we were focused more on marketing use cases, then we went into sales, and now we are talking about the CMS, the customer success teams, the integrations, right? A lot of things have been happening around HubSpot, and eventually we are also sharing a lot of these learning that we are taking along with us, right? uh, as the QR code, if you want to just join our New Delhi Hug, you will just get an update on when is the next event happening. There's nothing more, there's no spamming or anything, because we don't even get to know your email address. It's just an automated system. You will get notified next event is happening, right? So yeah, and just in case you want to just go to that link and subscribe, that will be cool. Yeah, some of the past events we've done recently, as you can see, a couple of months back, or in the last 4 months, we've done twice. So we have to do, we've been doing a event every quarter. uh, January, February, March, by the time HubSpot sets up the whole system, it's already March. So we end up doing one in March or April. And then, since from there on, every quarter we host an event. You can see some of the past, events as well. Last time we spoke about, what new features were coming in HubSpot. Before that, lead scoring, or, more automations, APM, so we've done a lot of things. Again, if you go back to that, if you go to this link, you will find out about all the events that we've done in the past. And you can, view recordings as well, in case you want to go through it. So yeah, who we are, we are Nisway. I am one of the co-founders at Nisway. We are a HubSpot Elite Solutions partner, uh, with Elite. I mean, so yeah, so with HubSpot, you have these tiering systems where you grow along the journey. So we became a partner in 2016, 6 years ago, and then obviously we've grown along the way. We've done a lot of implementations, complex work, everything. And as a result of it, we grow the HubSpot tiering system as well. Elite is the topmost tier, and to reach there, yeah, we specialize in martech solutions, as we call ourselves now, martech company. So we specialize in martech or sales tech now as well. And we do a lot of integrations as well. So we have HubSpot apps in the marketplace, as well as we do a lot of custom integrations for organizations as well. uh, right, we also won the this year we won the customer first award, uh, for highest number of customers that have been retained on HubSpot. So yeah, so we've been fully integrated with HubSpot. Like we say, we are married to HubSpot. We do a lot of work around that. We have 30 people full time with us, plus a few contractors as well. Yeah, that's about us. Our customers in more than 30 countries right now, uh, across services and the apps that we sell. So yeah, that's more on the intro. Now, a quick question. Why WhatsApp? uh, I don't know. I mean, is there anybody who in the room who's not using WhatsApp? uh, just to be just to get an idea. Wait, this is very weird. I have to do a exit the full screen to be able to see if somebody's saying anything. Okay. Yeah. um
So
yeah,
Abhinav, I'll try and do that for you. So far nobody has said they're not on WhatsApp.
okay, great, thanks.
Hmm.
Thanks. Yeah, so I mean, so this question became, so we used to answer this earlier, and why, which is why we had this, why WhatsApp. But then, as as we've grown, we figured nobody does not use WhatsApp. Everybody is on WhatsApp. Um, yeah, so I think we should skip that question honestly altogether, and I should get right into it, which is, there are various types of WhatsApp accounts. And before even we get into the integration and how to use it, how to use it in your business, I think it will be a good idea to just go through the various types of accounts. As you can see over here, there are three accounts. The leftmost logo, is what you would be seeing generally on our phones, which is the WhatsApp personal app, which all of us use. Then there is a WhatsApp business app. This is again on the phone, but you will see, written WhatsApp business over there, mostly meant for small businesses. And then there is the WhatsApp business API, where you can see this gear icon. Basically, this is the WhatsApp business API. This is meant for large organizations. In fact, as of last month, now it's also released for small organizations. But I'll get to that in just a minute. But basically, basically when you want to do a lot of things with requiring, with where you can use in a lot of tech to make the solution, the WhatsApp solution, work for you in the manner you want, right? That is where you get into the business API. So you will need a developer or somebody to help you, set up that whole thing up for you. uh, but the game is that, if you're able to set that up successfully, you're able to automate a lot of things. And given the amount of, given the amount of work and business that is happening on WhatsApp right now, a lot of us, want to be on the business API. One key difference between the business app and the business API is that sometimes you would see, some businesses have a green tick on their WhatsApp account. Yeah. And on the WhatsApp business app, which is the second one here, you will not get that, right? So you can only get a green tick on your WhatsApp business API account, right? And then obviously there are more features, like you can have, more chatbots. You can do a lot more based on, what is happening, or what is the, what is the other person saying, and things like that. You can automate and, use HubSpot workflows if you're on the business API account. Okay. So a lot of people confuse between, what's a business app versus what's a business API. So business app, in short, can work on your phone. The WhatsApp business API cannot work on your phone, right? It will only work through a system, through a computer, through, you have to do some technical, work around it, or technical integration. But the number cannot work on your phone, in that case, on your, mobile phone. Yeah. uh, Also, one of the questions that is often asked is that, can I move my, WhatsApp business app number or WhatsApp personal app number into the WhatsApp business API? Yes, you can do that. There are certain things, steps that you have to follow, but yes, that is possible. But do remember, once that same number moves to an API, you cannot use it on your phone. uh, the other thing on the API version is that you can even have, you don't need to actually have a, mobile phone number. You can even have a toll free number, the 1-800 numbers, or all those numbers, where you technically don't have a phone, but it is just working through a cloud telephony system. You can have those, as your business API, as long as you are able to authorize it and confirm it through a OTP, 4-digit number, and all of that. Yeah. So that's about it. So yeah, you can have that as well, right? So yeah, so you can do all of that on the business API. But yeah, you need to know what is it that works for you better. Some people use the personal app itself into, and connect it with HubSpot. We do not recommend it, but yeah, that can technically, that is possible. Then obviously you can do the business app, and third is the API, business API. Yeah. So three types of accounts. Yeah. We'll take, you can keep putting down the questions here. We'll take all questions towards the end of it. I'm guessing, because now we've got into a little technicality, so you may have some questions. So feel free to, drop in your questions, and we'll take it towards the end. Okay. So let's get to, now that we've understood, what are the various types of WhatsApp account, let's get into the benefits. And Arpit, you'll be taking this up.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Abhinav. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Hug event. This is my first time presenting here, so I'm just hoping I don't mess anything up, and I'm glad to be among all of you. So I've been working with the product team at Nisway, and I'm quite excited to kind of show you what are the benefits of connecting WhatsApp to HubSpot. So let's get to the first one, and I think we've had some good theory understanding from Abhinav of what can be done. Let's try this little exercise. So here we have a QR code, which will redirect you to the Nisway website. What I would want you to do is just simply scan this QR code, and if you would like the link, I'm just going to send the link across on the chat, and you will find a form there. All you need to do is just go ahead and simply fill that form up with your name and your email ID, and with your WhatsApp phone number that you have already. And let's see what happens. Ideally, what will happen is in the next 2 minutes, you should be getting an automated WhatsApp response. So if we can all just take out the next couple shot and see how this functions. It's always good to kind of see something in practice. Would love you guys to come into the chat and let me know what was the response. I'm doing it side by side with you. So let's input the name, email address, phone number. Make sure to give us the consent to connect. I have received my message. If anyone else has also received them, please go ahead and type that out in the chat. So essentially what you would have received is hi, followed by your name that you have entered into the form. And thank you for reaching out. We'll be back with you in the next 24 hours. Okay, so Akshat says he's got it. That's brilliant. Hoping for some more. Right, so incredibly, what happened is I have actually automated one of the actions that happened on my website, right? Where ideally there was a form, somebody came and filled the form, and instead of me having a longer tat in order to get back to this person, I was able to connect with them absolutely immediately and send a WhatsApp message, right? Which is one of actually the fastest ways of connecting. So that's the first thing, that you can absolutely automate your follow-up action and set up a workflow to automatically send a notification, right? The next one, which is very critical, is a single source of truth, right? So very often it happens that, Abhinav, if you want to just switch to the next
Yeah.
slide, thank you. So very often what happens is, we are a part of a larger organization, and we have, for example, in my case, I may have a CSM team which is working and is talking to a bunch of people, and I just want to kind of follow the conversation, or I would just want to take over the conversation by basically logging all the conversations on the timeline. What this integration really does is it allows you to follow the conversation in real time. And that's really, really useful because you don't have to go through a bunch of multiple dashboards. You just log into your HubSpot and you can go to the contact on the contact timeline, and you will be able to kind of follow the entire conversation that is happening, right? Uh, just to kind of see this in live and how it works, if we go to the next slide, we also have a very nifty dashboard. So right from your HubSpot timeline, if you click on the dashboard, you will be able to follow the conversation in real time in how the conversation would have happened, let's say if this was on your phone. This is incredibly simple and incredibly easy for someone who just needs to follow the conversation and is either participating or even not participating and just simply monitoring the conversation, right? We also have a dedicated inbox. So let's say now you would really want to chat in real time, right? Like Abhinav said, in certain cases, let's say in the case of API, you will not have the interface on your phone because it is a technical interface which basically plugs into HubSpot itself, right? And into something like this, you would like an inbox which is relatively familiar. So if you look at the inbox that we have here, we've tried to bring in a lot of WhatsApp properties right itself, right here, right? So you are able to follow the chats in real time. You're able to apply some labels. You also have some templates that you can do. All of this, which is happening on the dashboard, gets perfectly synced with your timeline. So everything that's happening on the dashboard is on your timeline, and therefore that becomes your single source of absolute truth, right? Now let's say I am on my timeline, right? And I would like to, and I've seen something where I want to comment to the chat or to the customer that I'm talking to. With this little button on the timeline itself, I can send a message right from here. I don't have to open WhatsApp. I don't have to open any dashboard. I don't have to go anywhere else. Right from my timeline, I can go ahead and respond to somebody. There are a bunch of other features there where, you can just use a template if that makes it easier for you. And, this is incredibly, incredibly useful and easy for, your follow-ups and things like that. Another really good benefit is, we all hate repeated tasks. Let's just face it, right? Like the message has come in every time, especially from, from a sales point of view and things. We just hate going ahead and doing the same thing over and over again. HubSpot solved it for us by having workflows. We kind of took it to another level where you can now plug this in with your WhatsApp itself, right? Where essentially what happens is if a certain action has happened or an action has triggered, you can send a particular WhatsApp message, which can be templatized or not, depending on how you would like to use it, right? So this is practically also what you just saw, which was there was a form that, and you were able to receive a message. Now, this could have been, let's say, a couple of different landing pages, and on those landing pages, there were different forms, therefore different customers, and they all could have got different WhatsApp messages. Makes the life of at least the first level of your sale or your first level of conversation with the client extremely, extremely easy. Now, today we are living in the time where everything's about personalization, right? Nobody likes talking to machines. Everyone wants that, hey, I have a name and address me with that. And that's precisely what we are able to also do here. So using your contact token, you will be able to insert them into pre-filled templates. And therefore, when the response goes, and again, this is something that we just demonstrated to you in practice. You saw your name being addressed in the message that came. So it said, hey, Arpit Verma, we will be in touch with you. It's a great small little gesture, especially useful where if you have some important contact properties which you want to address. So for example, it could be, addressing by their email ID or addressing by a certain link that you have already in the HubSpot profile. So you can really make use of the HubSpot, the entire power that HubSpot gives you to, populate the contact. So that's about the personalized token pieces. We have a bunch of really cool features in this integration where, let's say, now I am somebody whose contact you do not have on your WhatsApp, right? And I decide to message in to you. By default, if you would have seen that WhatsApp allows you to set up a name, a display name, and a picture, right? So when I send in, I'm not your HubSpot existing contact. Using this integration, you can automatically create this contact in your HubSpot. So all the incoming chats or all the chats which are incoming from even unknown people, they become your HubSpot customer. That's one less task for your sales or your CSM person to be able to continuously update, contacts manually, right? Of course, you get notifications from incoming messages. You may decide to just not receive notifications from unassigned contacts. Another very cool feature which we have, and we are often asked about it, is, this is a personal WhatsApp number for a lot of people. And if there are any personal chats that are ongoing and we do not want those chats to be recorded, then what do we do? Right. So by this integration, there's another feature which, basically allows us, or allows this, just blank out these conversations. Don't listen to them. Don't log them onto the timeline. And that's an incredibly useful feature that you may find. Coming to the next one, of course, I mean, this is an absolute no-brainer. We all know, and we've all been there, that reaching out to somebody on the mobile phone or through a text or through a WhatsApp is far, far, far more effective as compared to an email, right? And therefore, like I was able to immediately send you the message through our integration right now. Imagine if this would have been an email. We'd have all been searching, been lost into our emails, etc., 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 right? And it's a well-known fact that that the best way of improving your customer engagement is to catch them on the mobile phone. It's also the quickest, and that's precisely what you're seeing. So today we get a lot of our OTPs, let's say, on SMSs. So instead of SMSs, why not just automate it through your WhatsApp spot integration, right? Another very cool thing that you can do, and this is very strictly dependent on the business API provider that you go ahead with, is you can set up these very nifty buttons when you're sending the customer engagement. Essentially, what this allows you to do is kind of, give the options upfront to your customer that, hey, we have these couple of, things that you can do. So now in this case, what time would you prefer your delivery to be? And you can select the time, and based on the time, certain triggers or certain workflows can be enabled, and those workflows can be done. Again, like I said at the start, that this is strictly dependent on the API provider that you use. But a solid use case that I can potentially show to you is, when you can tailor your CTA. So if Abhinav, you could go to the next slide, please.
Yeah.
Right. So in this case, as you can see, essentially what I have done is I have created this template on WhatsApp. And of course, these templates have to be approved by Facebook before you can send these out. So this template was approved by Facebook, and Facebook was okay with it. And we've kind of kept a couple of places for the parameters to be installed. And if you see a small little button there, which says sign up. So incredibly, what happens is when you click on that, you can drive a real-time action. So it is not just about sending a message and receiving message, but also driving an action, which is what essentially a CTA button does, right? So you have tailor-made messages with CTA. uh, Another one is, we all have certain, I mean, very often when I'm working with Abhinav used to remind me for certain things, right? And I hate it, and Abhinav also hates it, right? One thing that this integration could potentially do is it can automate a lot of internal tasks and reminders. So because essentially what we are doing is we are creating a timeline event, so that event allows you to be a trigger for a listen, or be a trigger for one of the workflows to be enabled, which could potentially send you internal notifications as well. So on your HubSpot, you'll get a notification saying that, hey, XYZ thing has happened. Why don't you go ahead and take an action? Or similarly, it could just create a task for me, right? Makes my life a lot simpler and easier. Similarly, where we use this is in case of tickets, where I can just automate by listening. If someone has said, hey, I need some help, or hey, this is not working, so I can have those very specific triggers in terms of the keywords that I know that my team receives, and essentially just create a ticket by default. And the moment that ticket has been created, the ticket can be assigned to one of my team members, and just makes the entire process so much more smooth and seamless. So I think I have been able to catch you guys in terms of what we are looking at in terms of just the pure benefits of doing this. We have done this, of course, with a lot of our customers, and they have absolutely loved it. And I'm going to let Abhinav take that part up of how we've helped our customers use the power of WhatsApp. So, Abhinav, on to you now.
Sure, thanks, Arpit. And yeah, I mean, while Arpit was sharing, I just remembered, Uber just launched this recently. You can book a cab just using, WhatsApp. Now you can automate this, basically the whole process of booking a cab. You enter your text and it gives you the button. Okay, these, choose a time slot and book now, right? So there are various use cases of WhatsApp automation now that are coming up, and everything else around HubSpot is what we are plugging into the systems, right? So you're not limited by whether the customer well. If you have the customer information on HubSpot, whatever property you have for the customer field, even if it's a custom property, you can use it in your automations as well, right? uh, yeah, so just to talk about a few, couple of good case studies how customers have found it useful. So this is from a one of the leading universities in Mexico. uh, so their challenge was, when students would come up and fill the form on their website regarding a course, they would send them the email about the course material, the brochure and various things. This is what you will study, blah blah blah, all those PDFs and all, right? And then by the time the student has filled the form, they have not checked the email, or by the time they would get a closure, it would generally was taking them 2 months to from a start to close a discussion with the student, and a lot of them would fall off in that journey. Now what they started doing instead is they started using WhatsApp instead of the email functionality. And so whenever students would fill up the form, they would get a WhatsApp immediately, and students would immediately look at the phone. Oh, here's the brochure, this is the cost, blah blah blah. Oh, here's the payment link, I can just pay right now, and I can send them the screenshot right now of the payment. And eventually I can sell the course pretty quickly, because all the students are almost always on the phone, right? So their conversion rates, I mean, one is that you can see the 3x increase in the lead conversion rates. But I think one of the key things that we saw, at least we noticed, what happened was that, and this is pre-COVID actually. So January 2020, what happened, I was talking to them, the marketing head of that of the university, and he said, it's January and I've already closed my 2020 goals already. I filled all the seats for the entire year already. just because we were able to just move so fast with this. Not only our numbers increased, the sales to the lead to sale time also drastically reduced, and that's what uh, helped them close so much faster, right? And then now they have implemented, so they did this for one department, and now they have implemented it for all the departments in the organization, uh, right? Then there is another, so this is, yeah, this is about an insurance company in the Caribbean, right? So insurance company needs lots of documents, and once the pandemic hit, everybody was indoors. So they started, so what happened in their case, their reps started collecting information and documents on their personal WhatsApp from customers. uh, and obviously, right, that would have created a mess for an organization, because everybody had everybody data, and no, there was no single place where you could get all the data, right? Nobody knew who's talking to which customer, or which customer sent the information to which rep, and all those, it was a mess, right? So they moved to a single number, they moved to the API version, they got everything in one place. They got all the, so with the API version, the best advantage is that multiple people can log into the same account, same phone number, right? Like I said, you can use even a toll free number, so whatever number you're using for advertising or anything, same number people start interacting with on that. And because you get that dashboard over there, so people can see, okay, whatever is happening, and you can save all these documents on your HubSpot timeline itself, right? On the contact timeline, you will be able to see all these documents there, the links to all these documents there, right? So it became very easy for them, because now they have, just again going back to the point Arpit mentioned about single source of truth. So if it's there on HubSpot, it is there, otherwise they don't have it, right? So while for the customer, they are just having that interaction on WhatsApp, for the organization, it just made that, okay, my CRM has everything, I don't have to worry about going various places or where to find what, right? This was a huge win for them. uh, yeah. um, then another one was, again, a school, but yeah, uh, again, similar kind of use case, but yes, who is talking to what student, what are their conversations, these, the sales manager started having anxiety on, what are my reps talking to student, what are they telling them, are they telling them the right thing, are this mis-selling, those kinds of things, right? On calling, you always have had that, these calls will be monitored for quality purposes, but how do you monitor a WhatsApp conversation for quality, or for anything for that matter, right? So again, so when they moved to the system, right, again, they had this information available for them. Okay, what is the conversation that's happening? Are we mis-selling, are we doing anything wrong, are we doing it right? And then obviously the learning of that, okay, these are the uh, you know rejection points of students, or whatever, all that learning started building into their system. And then they also opted for the reporting version, so they had reports on what is the best time to message students, because they were seeing patterns of what are times where people are getting more responses from from the students, right? So all that information, again, help them build, improve their sales process, and eventually do more in terms of better selling, right? So yeah, so three quick uh, you know cases where customers have found this useful. Just run a quick quick minutes video. This is Fabricio, he's from Anahuac University, the Mexico university I was talking about. And just let's hear from him what how we found it useful.
When we started working with your tool, we saw it right away. It didn't take like too long. I mean, the same month that we were started working with you guys, we saw changes right away. We saw that our engagement improved, our the capability that you guys have creating templates and sending those templates, and you already have your message. You don't have to basically type everything. That was great for us. You have like 50 leads or 100 leads at the max per day. And my reps were able to send those messages through the app. And people responded right away, and we were closing our conversion rate. It went from, I don't know, it was like 8%, probably, I don't know, that's a random number, through almost 20%. Having hot chat was the key for us, for improving our basically conversion rate, closing deals, And my sales rep are the most grateful people for that, because they basically work on commission too. So they started basically closing like a lot of deals, and that helped them too.
Yeah, so I mean, you can more, if you want to go through the detailed case study, obviously there is this link there. You can obviously scan this. But yeah, in general, if you look at it, most people found the responsiveness better, right? We all know nobody, no, I mean, people barely see the text messages. And email is anyway, really down in the conversion rate and open rates, right? It's really bad, right? So but WhatsApp, people are on the phone all the time, and they are able to they're at least seeing your what WhatsApp message. And then obviously if there is an intent, you will get a faster response, and your closure rates are definitely faster. And same success teams, they're finding it easier because okay, the customer is responding here quickly. I'm not sending an email and waiting for the customer next day. They will respond, and then I will work on it the next the following day. So because it's faster, closing tickets is faster. And again, the conversation is there on the HubSpot timeline, so I know whether the customer interacted with me on email or on WhatsApp. I have everything in one place, right? uh, yeah, so those are a quick some of the wins that our customers have seen. So we have now, over the years we've evolved. So our first integration, I think, went live in 2019, uh, right? And then since then we've been seeing what customers are asking for, what are the use cases that are people looking to solve. Even WhatsApp has evolved in various ways, and we've grown along with them. So yeah, so as a result of it, now we have various solutions, and different use cases have different solutions, right? So this was the first one on the left. This is the first one, launched September 2019, right? So over 400 organizations using it, uh, right? And most of the uh, use cases that are solved through this version, the HubSpot plus WhatsApp integration, which is mostly meant for or being used by at least sales teams a lot. uh, the second version we launched about another 6 months later, when we worked with the API version for WhatsApp. uh, and what we saw is larger organizations started moving to the API version, because of the ability to automate stuff, and because it's also a little expensive because you have to pay per message. On the API version, you have to pay WhatsApp for each message that you send, right? So uh, yeah, so it's a little expensive also, probably why there are larger organizations using it. But yeah, uh, once we started moving there, we again started seeing that okay, there are some people who want the automation, some people want the phone version. And we have at least, as of now, we have two versions right now. But over the years, as again, like I said, over the years we've also learned and evolved, and now we are seeing a third use case for a lot of organizations coming in, smaller teams, or you know with different use cases. And as a result of it, we are now launching a new version which is called WhatsWay. uh, and this is the first time we are actually showcasing how it will work. Okay, so you guys are all on this call, you getting access to this exclusive preview, and we'll have a small offer at the end as well. But let me just quickly show you what's coming up.
Hello. Hi, my name is Arpit, and welcome to the first ever look at what we are internally calling WhatsWay, the working name of the product that we are working on, which is the HubSpot plus WhatsApp integration. And let's quickly jump in and see where we are in terms of the development and how the product is shaping up. So here I am on my WhatsApp web with my friend and colleague Praveen, who's going to be helping me through this testing. You can see this is based on the Chrome extension, and the extension clarifies that my phone number, which is 8505-852-300, is synced and is working. So let's quickly jump in. Hi, Praveen. I am testing for event respond. This. So as you can see, I've sent this message to Praveen. I also have Praveen's HubSpot contact open here. And on the timeline, ideally, I should get the message that I have sent. And there you can see. It says, "Hi, Praveen, I'm testing for the Huggy and demos when you get to it." So that's one thing that is absolutely perfectly working already, where if you send the message, it gets logged onto the timeline. I'm just going to wait for Praveen to send the message. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also send him a media message. So here's the photograph. I am also sending you a photograph. Let's see if this is the timeline too. And so you can see Praveen has also sent me a message. It says hello, and I have sent him a photograph. So if you go back onto the timeline and refresh, you should be able to see both of them. And there you have it. Indeed, Praveen's message is also logged here. It says hello. I'm going to refresh once again. We hope that my message will also be visible. And there you can see since this was a medium file, you can view the file, and it also says it's the caption was included. So if you click on view, you will be able to see the media file that came. So that's about sending the messages. Another pretty cool thing is that you can send the message right from HubSpot as well. So if you just click on the app icon here, say hello, Praveen, I am now testing from HubSpot. So the message should right from here as well. So it says message sent successfully. So we're just going to go back to our WhatsApp chat and check. And there indeed you can see hello, Praveen, I'm now testing from HubSpot is right here. The message should again be logged onto our template. Absolutely, and that's exactly what's happened. Praveen is sharp and has already responded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also try out some template messages. So let's say we use this template called testing with Pi. See, the template is populated. The template comes into your screen right here. Oops, I think I pressed it twice. So click it and the message goes. So using this, you can also create a template where you can input the template name, the template message, as well as using the contact tokens from HubSpot contact self. So that's a nifty little feature. Another really pretty cool thing that we've done is you can actually access all Praveen's HubSpot contact properties right here. So when you click on the contact name, you basically get two tabs. You get the WhatsApp tab as well as the HubSpot tab. If you move to the HubSpot tab, you can see all the contact properties that are associated with Praveen are automatically synced and you get it right here. So that's another pretty nifty and a pretty cool feature. The best way of working with WhatsApp is you get these little boxes injected right on your web WhatsApp, and you also get your sync information. So it was the last message which was synced to your HubSpot account, so that you're always sure that you have all the latest chats up on HubSpot. So that's the latest sync update. You also have another very cool feature where in case I am talking to Praveen about something personal and I do not want that to be logged onto HubSpot, I can simply add Praveen's phone number right here and the message will not get synced. Another interesting one is, let's say somebody messages you on WhatsApp and the person is not a part of your HubSpot contacts so far, the integration will automatically create the contact. So that's just been a very, very quick demo for all of you lovely folks. We're very excited about what's way and cannot wait to bring this out to you. Cheers.
Okay. So yeah, that was the quick demo. I think you may want to look at now. Probably you are wondering what are the differences. Arpit, if you can take this up. Uh,
Yes. So I think one point that Abhinav probably missed out, and I must say that the
Sorry.
name Watsway is not finalized yet.
Okay.
Right? I
Sorry.
don't want to I don't want to be killed by my marketing team on this one, but that is something we are still finalizing. So, so the name, as you can see, is still to be announced. This is just a working name that we have been working on so far. Like you saw with the demo, pretty cool progress on this new product, which we want to be bringing out very, very shortly for you. So, just in terms of who is suitable for what product, largely for the HW and the HWA products, one thing that you saw is they both have a dashboard, right? They both have their own individual dashboard, but if you're not comfortable with that, have a very small sales team, maybe a couple of members here and there, and are comfortable using your web WhatsApp, then that is where WhatsApp kind of comes and fills in the gap. In terms of the price point, HW starts at about 59 US dollars per month, HWA at about $99 per month, whereas WhatsApp, not going to be revealing too much, but we think is going to be the cheapest HubSpot plus WhatsApp integration on the market. The very simple reason is it is targeted towards people who are running really small businesses, have small teams, and have very specific use cases as compared to, going really after features. Another really interesting question we get about is bulk messaging. If you would like to do multiple messages at the same time, or broadcast messages, etc. Since HW is essentially based on your own phone, that is not allowed. WhatsApp does allow certain marketing now on through their API business piece. So the HWA, if you're looking to send bulk messages, which is enroll a bunch of contacts into a workflow and be able to send a message across to them, HWA is perfectly good and suitable for you. Again, on WhatsApp, because you are practically using the tool from the web WhatsApp, there is no bulk messaging. I've already touched upon the individual dashboard. In this case, your individual dashboard is basically your web WhatsApp itself. Another interesting one is, let's say I have a 5-member sales team and I want all 5 of them to be accessing WhatsApp on the same number. Now, this is where HWA is the recommended solution, because $9 per month that you pay, you get 5 users by default. So you will have one phone number and 5 agents of yours can log in and check those chats and respond simultaneously. If you would like to add another user, that's about 20 US dollars per user. On WhatsApp, that's something we are still keeping our cards very close to our chest before opening them. In terms of sending the templates, all the 3 products have the ability to send template messages with tokens. These tokens may be from HubSpot, like Abhinav had mentioned. They could be your existing properties, or they could be custom properties. It could also be a custom text. In terms of your WhatsApp phone number, your HW will work with your current WhatsApp phone number. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about there. In case of HWA, this is a very case to case basis, because in certain providers, you can only convert a WhatsApp business number into an API number. In certain cases, you can do your personal number also. In certain cases, you cannot do it at all. Right. So this is a very case to case basis in terms of utilizing your phone number. But one thing is for sure, once you are on HWA and have the API on your phone, you cannot use it on your mobile phone. In case of WhatsApp, it's absolutely open. You can continue to use your WhatsApp the way you're using right now and have it integrated with HubSpot. Uh, Another interesting one is, let's say your agent is offline. Your agent, I'm sure they've done the hard work, put in the hard hours, 8 o'clock, time to go back home, and you receive a message on your WhatsApp. Essentially, what happens with HW and HWA is those messages are still logged onto your timeline or into your dashboard. Where way, that sync with HubSpot does not happen in real time. You need to have your web WhatsApp as well as your HubSpot open for that sync to happen. So if I've decided to shut my computer down, go back home and sleep, those messages will not be synced. And essentially, all the 3 products make sure that all the conversations you're having when the product is listening are properly written on your timeline. So they are properly mentioned on your timeline. Like we said, single source of truth is if it's on your timeline. So that's been the difference between the 3 products. WhatsApp is not out in the market yet, but we have some interesting plans for that, and I'm going to leave that to Abhinav. But for HW and HWA, they both are very much listed on the marketplace. You may want to give a trial. We also have a couple of links where you can potentially book a demo with our team. So I think that's been my time, Abhinav.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, let's. I mean, we've shared. I think we've shared too much information in too short amount of time. So let us get into question and answers. You guys have anything you're wondering? Let's just look at it. Answer. Um, I don't know. Again, I have to look at the
So
chat
Abhinav, what
box.
I can do is I can read out the questions and you can be on this screen if that works for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So I think Akshat has got a question that can we track CTA links, like sign up and see how many clicks and views we got from the CTA. So I'm assuming Akshat, here talking about the automation piece where we send an automated message with a couple of CTL links. In that case, it is very simple. You can just use your HubSpot trackable links and use them as links, and you will be able to figure out how many people clicked on that link. So that's Akshat. Prakhar has a
Yeah, I mean,
question.
sorry, Arpit, just to take
Yeah.
a quick shot at that as well. So what happens in uh, in the automation version, you can have parameters, when you're using the template that gets approved from WhatsApp. Right now, in those parameters, you can even have links. So you can, like you got this message, right, where in the parameters it would have said, the first name property. Now you could have a link also in that. And again, like Arpit said, you could have created a trackable link, and then, every time an automation is triggered, that link goes. And yes, you can track then obviously back into your HubSpot account that, that's been clicked or whatever. Yeah. um, Akshay, do let us know if that is not the question, because I'm assuming that's what it is. uh, yeah.
So I think the next question is Prakhar has it. Prakhar says the What's Way app looks very cool. Thank you, Prakhar, for that. This might be answered before, but I joined late, so I'm asking again anyway. So the first question is WhatsApp is very strict with their business and user policy. Things like they identify automation more than one or two messages triggered per second when using with workflows or messaging more than one person, because of which there is usually a chance of WhatsApp numbers getting blocked. How are we sup- surpassing that here? The second question is just we make red receipts, reply spam, block reports on HubSpot.
Okay, sure. So Prakar, yeah, I mean, I don't know when you joined, so if I were to go back, um, if I were to go back, I'll just go back here on this slide, which is where, the three business, I mean the three WhatsApp apps are there. So in the first and the second, if you're using the WhatsApp personal app or the WhatsApp business app, again, which is on the phone, you cannot automate, right? So even within, by using our app or using HubSpot workflow, you cannot send a automated message, because that's, like you said, it's against user policy, right? So that is practically not possible. Only the automation is only possible in the WhatsApp business API, and which is the official API from WhatsApp or Facebook itself, and it allows you to, automate the messages and send it to a list or anything like that. However, even in that case, if the user, you may have been already, seeing it, right? You get unknown messages, or messages from unknown senders, or even from known, verified brands. You may be getting the message. At the moment you get the message for the first time, you still get that option to block the account, the business account. Even if it's a verified account, the end user still gets that option to, block the account. So that will always be there, right? It's a WhatsApp policy, and I'm glad they have it. Otherwise, WhatsApp would have been, would have just become like SMS by now. Nobody would be looking at it. So yeah, so you can still report, users can still report, and all of that can happen. And as far as the automation is concerned, according to WhatsApp policies, it only works on the API version. Yeah. uh, what was your second question? Can we track red receipts and all of that? Yes, you can do that. You get all of those, all of that information, obviously assuming the other side, the user has enabled that, the red receipts and all. As long as they have enabled, yeah, you will get into your integration as well. You will be able to see, whether it's been red or not red. Yeah. uh, so yeah. uh, is there a follow-up question? Was I clear? And
So
yeah.
Akshat has got written okay, got it. Thanks. So that's worked out well there. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much been the questions.
Okay, okay. So Prakhar, I mean, just assuming, is that answer as well? Yeah, if you could give a heads up, yes, no, that would be great.
Yeah, Abhinav,
Uh,
that sounds good.
okay, all right, great. Thank you so much for confirming. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so you like we saw, right? There are various use cases, and everything, within our apps, works according to WhatsApp's business policies, user policies, as well as obviously HubSpot's user policies. Which is why if you tried that demo, that that small thing that Arpit did in between, you would have to click the I give consent to the business, to Nisway, to send me a WhatsApp message, right? So you will have to, when you implement it, you'll have to set up all these systems so that you're following everybody's, all the organization, Facebook, HubSpot, everybody's policies, and not violating any of that. And some things which by default we can do so that a user cannot even do by mistake, that we have enabled at our end itself. Right, like like you can't do too many messages from the personal WhatsApp number and things like that, right? So all that is already taken care of. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's mostly on the on the WhatsApp and HubSpot use cases, integration, how you would want to do, right? Again, there are these links if you want to book a demo, just scan the QR code and you're good. uh, and obviously if you want to join our hug, like I said, you will just get emails or updates on or when an event is happening. Other than that, nothing else. So yeah, could be good if you can just sign up there. uh, okay, now for the big announcement. So if you are interested in so if you're interested in actually getting access to WhatsApp, um, like Arpit said, it's a working name, but still, so we're about a month away from its launch, about a month away roughly. And but still, if you want to get access to it, before it goes out to the market, so we're planning to launch for the marketplace only January. But yeah, if you want access to it, you can have a beta access, only allowed for the users on this call at the hug event right now. You have to drop in your email ID, either send it to me or to Arpit on a DM over here. Should be your official company account, and we will set you up as soon as we launch the beta version, which is in about 4 weeks time. Yeah, this is only applicable for right now, all the audience on the hug event right now. If you later reach out to us and say, hey, I want to get added, I'm sorry, that will not be there. uh, so yeah, you know
Abhinav, did you mention this demo is absolutely free? Did you mention that part? This beta is absolutely free.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course, right. So yeah, so you're not paying anything until it goes out to the market. And yeah, about 3 months of access you will get for free. You can play around with it, and you can obviously use it for your business if you want it. I've got a couple of messages. Okay, great. um, yeah, so yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, this is only meant for right now, uh, and not available later on. Yeah. So even if somebody is looking at the recording and then reaching out to us, I'm sorry, that will not be applicable. All right, cool. So yeah, I mean that's about the event. Also, inbound is around the corner in about 2 weeks time. Anybody from here, thinking or joining online, offline, anything? Um, so yeah, good. Yeah. So I'll be going. After a long time, it's happening offline again. Earlier we used to, I think 2018, 19, when we used to run hugs, we would come back and from inbound and we'll share updates of what's been happening. And now since, it's all gone online, so everybody knows what's happening. So we don't need to run an event to talk about inbound, what happened at inbound. But yeah, if anyone is traveling, do, let's catch up there as well. But yeah, that's about it for the WhatsApp integration today. Feel free to reach out to us, me, Arpit, or whoever you're, if you've taken the course. Even if you've not taken the course, you can just go on our website and reach out to us if you need that. But yeah, I hope you found this session useful, and you'll be able to good pretty implement some pretty cool use cases. Yeah, thanks a lot then. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good day or good evening or good night. I don't know wherever you are. Yeah, and we'll see you in the next Hug event in about a couple of months. Thank you so much then. Bye bye. Thanks, Arpit.
Thank you, Abhinav. See you.